Alright, before we get started, here's a few gotchas to watch out for. On the videos, I've used an online environment called jsfiddle.net. So the first thing to look out for is to not put in jsfiddle.com. That goes somewhere very strange. Someone's piggybacked on the popularity of JSFiddle and tries to take you somewhere else. So you can be insistent about using .net, or you could go to Google and put in JSFiddle and it will come up as your first return. The second thing is that by default it comes up with a dark theme which looks like this. And I run this code. You might prefer to see it like this. I know I certainly do. Once you've run your code and you're happy with it and you can save it, you can share the URL, or you can embed it here, and you can embed the whole lot into a web page if you know how to do that. Now with Internet Explorer, they don't like this output method, and I've used this output method all throughout the video. What this is writing text or writing the output over here in the window where you can see this is the document window. Now, Internet Explorer does not work. So they're trying to move people away from that, and there is a longer, more complicated way to output in JavaScript, but I didn't want to go there just yet. So this way is the easiest way for people to see what's actually happening to the code when they're starting out. When they get some confidence, then we can look at the more complicated way of outputting in JavaScript. So if you have to use Internet Explorer, you've got no way of using any other browser, and you don't get a return result here, one option that might work for you is to do alert, and your output can then be displayed as a pop-up. If that still is not going to work for you, you could go to W3 Schools and go to this Try It Yourself window, and we're going to work in the body section, and we're going to put in open script, close script. This is telling the web page that you're using this section for JavaScript. And here you can now put in the code, and let's say your code involved this output here, well then you could run. So everything on the videos could be done this way as an alternative or a backup. One of the problems with W3 Schools, I'm just going to copy everything here, because if you accidentally refresh or intentionally refresh the page, your work is lost. And that can be very frustrating, particularly for long sections of code. You could also try out JSBin, which works in a very similar manner, and you choose which components you want to be displaying. Let's now look at Python. The environment I use is REPLit, and we type our code here, we hit run, and our output is there. Now REPL has a lot of languages, so initially you just want to set it up that you're using Python. And the next time you come back in, it will use Python. So this will require people creating accounts and all of the issues that can come with that. But once you have got your account set up and everything's working, any bits of code that you make, you can edit the name of it here. And then you can share your work using that URL. Now with REPLit, one of the limitations is that you can generally only do the text work that you do with Python. It is getting better all the time, and one of the languages that you can choose at the beginning is Python with Turtle, which lets you do turtle graphics and do more advanced things. But in terms of adding images and bringing in data files, it's a bit limited. So after this series of videos, we're going to work on getting you to use Python on your desktop environment after you're comfortable with the language a little bit first, because there are some hurdles to overcome. Another one that you might want to look at is Trinket.io, and this one has a lot more abilities than Replit. It's not going to be necessary for any of the code we've done on this series of videos, but for more advanced ideas, this one is great. This one actually connects up to Pygame and will let you do, you can see here it's got libraries like NumPy and SciPy and Matplotlib for doing your graphs. So if you're fairly comfortable with Python, you might want to try looking at Trinket.io as an alternative to do more than you could with Replit, but not as much as you could with your desktop version.